Hello and welcome to another episode of
Property Club.
It took you a little while. Anyway, that's kind of funny. Funny way to start off the evening. We're doing a live show today. It's me, Peter,
And Arianne.
from the Property Club, and today we're talking about the Cambodia property market. So we've just come back. Oh, sad, because just come back from Cambodia. I really did not want to leave because I loved it just so much. I felt that Cambodia was absolutely awesome, really exciting, very different kind of a place, and it was good to have a break. So we're on holidays for a week, running around doing a little bit of filming because that's what we do in our free time, and yeah, we had heaps of fun. So anyway, today's subject is the Cambodia property market. So very exciting. So what's exciting is since 2010, it is actually legal for people, foreign people, to buy strata titled property, so condominiums, in Cambodia. Now, there are a few restrictions. So the first restriction is that foreigners can only own up to 70% of a building. So there is a foreign quota, similar to like Thailand or the Philippines, but the quota is higher. It is 70% of the building. So that's actually really good, 70% foreign ownership. The other thing is you can't buy within a zone that's 30 kilometers, I think it's 30 kilometers from the border, something like that. So there are some restrictions. Oh, our little one's trying to jump up there. Cisco, he's got his little chair here. Well, it's not little, it's a lazy boy, a recliner. He loves the little recliner there. So yeah, really exciting with the property market. Arianne's going to be answering any questions you might have about Cambodia, about the Cambodian property market, or anything, any question you might have. So she's looking down at the moment, but she's actually in the live chat. So she'll be in that live chat answering questions. So
No, I'm going to read the questions and you will answer.
okay, well, she'll read the questions and have me answer them. So she doesn't like to answer them. Anyway, so we're really excited, and we had a look at some condos, some different condos and that sort of thing, strata titles that we can actually legally buy. So what we found is there are a huge amount of new condos being built in Cambodia and Sihanoukville, so luxury developments. Now, how much do they cost? So they cost, the average range is about $3,500 per square meter. So I was a bit mind boggled by this because I felt, wow, that's already quite high. That's not cheap. And it does go up from there. So the average, I would say, is about $3,500 to $4,000 per square meter. So it's not cheap, but the market is rapidly moving upwards. Okay, it is definitely moving upwards. The other thing is they've got some really nice luxury condos. So we did a video on the condo we were staying in, and that was really nice, wasn't it, honey?
Yeah.
Really nice.
It has huge balcony, nice bed,
Big kitchen.
Big kitchen.
Arianne loved that. She loved that. Unfortunately, it's a bit out of our price range. So look, we won't be buying that. Anyway, that's just how life is. So yeah, some really nice developments in both Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville. Trying to get my tongue around that one. So yeah, the price is a little bit high, but if you're Fossick, I think in time actually those prices, you know, you might get a good resale, but you know, who knows, the prices could keep going up as high as $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 price per square meter. Obviously older units are priced better, so you can get an older unit for like $100,000 and like 100 square meters, so a really big space. So the problem with those units is they're built before 2010. So that's before there was strata title, and because they're not strata title, legally foreigners aren't able to buy. So they have to set up these, you know, dummy companies with Kaima citizens to actually purchase those properties. And for me, that's a bit risky. Okay, so that's definitely a bit risky for me. So number two, the next subject we're going to talk about is the development and the infrastructure development that's going on in Cambodia today. It is insane, mind-boggling. So yes, you've got a lot of condo development, but also you have big things happening in Cambodia. Like for example, at the moment, if you want to go from Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville, it's going to take like 4 hours. So what they're looking at doing is building like this mega highway. I believe they've got a lot of investment monies from mainland China, and they're looking to actually build a highway, and it's going to be very similar to like Bangkok to Pattaya, which takes about roughly an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half from the city, an hour and 15 minutes from the airport in Bangkok down to Pattaya. So it's going to be a very similar setup. And that makes sense. It just makes sense, okay? Because 4 hours is a bit too long to sit on a bus just to get down to the beach. So when that happens, I'm expecting actually property on the beach there will rise. Properties down in Sihanoukville are a lot cheaper. When I'm talking prices of 3,000 plus US dollars per square meter, I'm talking about the capital being Phnom Penh and luxury developments. So that's happening. Also, you got some big wild casinos. So we went to Naga World 1 and Naga World 2, which we have a video on. We recently launched a video on that yesterday. So that's really cool. There's a question there, how long are we going to be in Cambodia? Actually, we're back. So we're no longer in Cambodia, we're back in the Philippines. So yeah, not really great. So on Sihanoukville, just a little bit more on that and the development. At the moment, they already have like 35 casinos that are approved and built in the city. And they have approval for 70 more casinos to be built. So really, it's kind of like, how do I explain? It's like a mini Macau. And I remember going to Macau and prices being like 300,000 and jumping up to like 1.5 million within a space of like 5 to 10 years. So there's been a big jump in that time frame. So yeah, look, there was another question there. What was that question, Arianne?
From a question from Toto. I heard Sihanoukville is now controlled by Triad gangs and it's totally dangerous for investing. What's your opinion?
Okay, well, that's an interesting comment because actually in the late 80s and 90s in Macau, actually it is known that the casinos and the businesses in Macau and Hong Kong, those type of casinos and businesses were run by gangs. So in the time that it's developing, it's kind of like the Wild West. People are trying to get in there and build their casinos, and maybe some dodgy dealing. So you got to be careful. You need to buy from a trustworthy developer and make sure that you're friendly. Make sure that you're not going to upset anyone and get in a fight, because that just won't be fun and you wouldn't like that, okay? So yes, it could definitely be dangerous if you upset the wrong person. So yeah, maybe stick to your own, and if you can learn a little bit of Chinese, I'm not talking about Cambodian, I'm talking about Chinese language, it might be helpful. Also, Sihanoukville, I found online, there are some good developments there, starting from about 50,000 US dollars for about a 30 to 40 square meter apartment. So much more affordable than Phnom Penh, where it's like 3,500 US dollars for a luxury condominium development. That's a lot more. It's a big jump. It's like 2 to 3 times the price, so it's huge. So a lot of good infrastructure, big roads, nice parks in Phnom Penh, and a lot of development happening. You can just see it and read about it. Just Google it and you will find out. It's very interesting times indeed in Cambodia. So the next is talking about condominiums. We went to a condominium development. We went to a few actually, and we were surprised to find out that the price is not the price. So you might say, what do you mean by that, Peter? So let me explain. So we saw a development. We really liked it, didn't we? Well, I think I really liked it. So Arianne, not so much. Did you like it or not really?
Which one? Sorry, there's few.
The factory, the urban hub, the factory.
I
really like the future idea of what it's going to be, but from what I see when we went there, was like what you see is what you get for that time being.
Well, yes, you can see some of the development being the restaurant, the cafe, the digital nomad hangout space, and this sort of thing, but you can't yet see the condos. And I don't like that because buying off the plan can be dangerous because you might buy off the plan and later feel that that's not the development for you. But buying off the plan seems to be the cheapest way and the best way to get the lowest price per square meter, because after buying, people are reselling for a lot more money. So you might find something for like $2,000 per square meter instead of $3,000 or $4,000. So that's the great thing. The bad thing is what they do is how they work out the price is they say, okay, it's 56 square meters gross. So that's the gross square meterage rate, being 56 square meters. But actually the condo that we saw, they try to explain that that includes the hallways and common areas. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you know, you have to pay for some of the common areas, like the hallways. And I'm like, that's not really good, because what that means is a price per square meter that was, you know, three something thousand dollars might end up being $4,000, as high as $4,000, because in actual fact, that 56 square meter gross will end up being 44 square meters net. So the net figure is what you actually get inside your condominium, internally, and balcony space and that sort of thing. So I was a bit shocked by that. The other thing I was shocked by is parking space. Most of the developers are like, oh no, the apartment doesn't come with parking space, but don't worry, you can rent from us.
Per day.
Per day. So it wasn't that bad. It was only $1 or $2, but every dollar counts. So it means, you know, if you spend $1 or $2 a day, you know, $2 a day, and it could start at $2 a day, it could end up in 5 years at $5 a day. We just don't know. And that's a concern too, because you don't actually own a parking space. So a little bit of a concern, and that made me cringe, you know. Not good, not good. And obviously, you know, if you're looking at moving as an expat to Cambodia, you probably want a parking space, especially if you've got kids and you want to take them to school. Yeah, haha. Anyway, don't ask. We'll tell you later.
I have a question regarding that. So, if it says 56 square meter and you only get 44 square meter, what would be the association dues is per square meter?
Somehow
well,
I think they will charge association dues based on the gross, not the net. I didn't actually ask that question, but I have a feeling that that's what the developers will do, because they're saying the actual space is 56 square meters, even though it's not, and you end up with 44 square meters. So that's a bit, how you doing? Anyway, so the next point is foreign investment. So it is insane. Foreign investment is rife in Cambodia. There is a lot of foreign investment. All you need to do is walk out to the street and you can just see it. Literally, every second car is a Lexus or a Mercedes, or even like every 10th car is a Rolls Royce or Bentley. And I felt like, am I in the right place? Is this Cambodia? Because I was shocked. Now, a lot of those people driving, they are immigrants, and many are Chinese. I'm not going to lie about that. That's the truth. So there is money there. So that's like, wow, like it's huge, and it's just everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. You can see foreigners, like when we're walking around, there's a lot of foreigners. The good thing about the foreign investment that I will say is, you know, instead of just having local businesses and local shops, you have a lot of foreign shops. Like we went to a nice restaurant for breakfast one morning, and I was sure that it must have been owned by a European, because it was very much like a European style. The food was amazing. And look, we're not going to get started on the food, and you know, one of the things that's close to my heart being food. We're going to talk about property today, but yeah, really nice food in Cambodia. So yeah, huge amount of foreign investment. It doesn't feel like Cambodia, it feels like Singapore. It feels like Singapore was like the first time I went to Singapore, maybe like 15 years ago, something like that, okay? It feels like, you know, based on all the foreign investment, all the Chinese coming, it's like a gold rush. It's like everyone's trying to rush in, everyone's trying to buy and buy now. And like, you know, it was pretty fully on at the showroom with the developers. They're like, you want to buy now. If you don't buy right now, sitting at the table, you will lose this condo. And literally you will, because they will sell it. They will sell it an hour later, half an hour later. It is madness. It is a tough market to crack at the moment, especially if you want a foreign strata title and not a hard or soft title. So that is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so obviously prices seem to be going up, up, and up, okay? But the thing that I got, and this is most of Asia, it's not just Cambodia, is that the developers seem to be artificially inflating the prices. So it also depends on when you're actually buying. So you need to buy at the right time. So if you end up buying at the right stage when they've just released and launched the development, you might get a really good price, like 2,000, you know, US dollars per square meter for a beautiful luxury development. But if you end up actually trying to buy, like we were trying to buy in a really nice building, but it's already built, and you know, it's in the last phase. So ultimately they're asking, you know, based on the net, 4,000 US dollars per square meter. And, you know, based on the currency exchange versus Aussie to US dollars, I'm like, that is a lot of money. I can literally buy a condo in Australia for that kind of money. So out of my budget, not something that I'd want to actually invest in. It is insane. It is insane. Having said that, it's all about following the money. And this brings me to the next point. Just like Singapore, I remember people saying, you know, a condominium for 400,000 was insane, like 10 years ago. Well, that same condominium is probably 1.5, 1.6 million now. So is it insane? That's the thing. If you follow the money, a lot of people are buying. There's a high chance that property will keep going up and up and up. So you've got to be really careful. You've got to buy the right property at the right time. It seems to be worldwide. There's property madness going on, especially in Asia now. The Asian markets, the tiger cubs out, rah! You know, prices are going up all over Asia. So people are struggling to buy. It is getting harder, especially for locals. But if you're cashed up and you're rich, maybe you can actually buy something really, really nice that is semi-affordable. Okay. But anyway, so again, I'm still surprised about the fact that every second car was a Lexus. It wasn't just a Lexus, like we're talking top of the line, you know, four-wheel drive Lexus. I think there was a Lexus Kuro, and I looked up this Lexus because I'd never seen one before. I'd never seen it before, this Lexus Kuro, and I looked it up, and in Cambodia that car costs like $300,000, and I just can't fathom that. I'm like, you know, that's like buying a Ferrari in Australia. That is whoa, like, it is mind-boggling. And literally, every second car is like a Lexus. That seems to be the most popular branded car there. So like I said, you can just see the money there. Okay, you can just see it. Anyways, that's what's going on. So the other thing I want to mention, you know, we're talking about prices going up and developers artificially manipulating prices. I think there's a lot of that. And it's not just in Cambodia, it's all over Asia. The biggest thing is, okay, and this is why I think they're able to manipulate prices up and up and up, because a lot of this property is being sold overseas. So a few of the developments that we went to, they said, okay, well, we've sold out of the development. I said, really? Like, we're the only ones in the showroom here, and you sold out? How did you sell out? So what they're telling us is they're going to places like Singapore or Taiwan or other places overseas, and they're selling this property, okay? They're selling it overseas. There's one development, which is the Shangri-La. We really wanted to get access, and we could not even find the showroom, nor did we get any response when we actually contacted them. Literally. And I own a condo in a Shangri-La development already. So I was like, wow. So I later found out that they have a showroom in Singapore. I'm not going to fly to Singapore to try and buy this development. They're obviously picking their mark. They're finding super wealthy people out of Singapore to say, hey, look, I'll invest 200,000. What's 200,000? But really, is this condominium worth 200,000? So that's my thing. So if there's a lot of development and ends up being an oversupply, what could happen is it could go the same way as Pattaya, whereby there's an oversupply of property, and then you can get resales from people that are having problems renting out the properties and actually buy it cheaper. Who knows? Maybe they bought it at 3,000. Maybe later you might be able to get it for 2,000. We just don't know. It's really like playing roulette and being at the casino. That's what it's like, okay? So anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is visas. So visas kind of shocked me as well, because I have a few expat friends that have been living in Cambodia, and what they said is, and I did my research on this and it seems to be correct, that previously, like a couple of years ago, it was quite easy to get a visa. But now it is not so easy to get a visa, because what you need actually is a work visa. So you need a work visa, you need to somehow get a work visa, get a job. Not everyone wants to do that. Some people are rich, they just want to go there and relax and retire. Some people are digital nomads, want to work, literally want to work from home in Cambodia and live the life, live the digital nomad life. So it doesn't suit everyone. So what I found out is a lot of people, what they're doing is they're registering businesses and they're using that business to issue themselves a work visa to stay in Cambodia. So that is a bit of a problem, because if you don't want to invest into a business and create some kind of business in Cambodia, that could be a problem. So look, I think it's fair and it's reasonable, because on the flip side of that, unlike Thailand and the Philippines where it's highly restrictive and it's almost, in Cambodia, foreigners are allowed almost unrestricted to own 100% foreign-owned companies. That's right. So you can go to Cambodia, you might have a business idea, a startup, some kind of cool idea, an internet company, it could be a cafe, it could be a bar, and you can own that 100% legally in your name. So that is a big plus for Cambodia. It is a huge plus. Fantastic. Actually, if you're looking at these beads, we got this at the Central Market, little jade beads. I haggled very hard. They wanted $30. I think I bought it for about, how much? No, I think it was $8 or $9 for this one. Maybe 10. I think I might have paid 10. Anyway, back to the topic.
There's one question.
Question.
From EZ Guide Gaming. Would you recommend buying in Sihanoukville? Do you think in terms of the government and political situation with China, it's safe for Westerners to invest in new condos as long-term investment?
Do I think it's better to invest in Sihanoukville? I think Sihanoukville price point is cheaper. Okay, so you can get in a new off-the-plan development at a better price point. So rather than paying hundreds of thousands of US dollars, you might be able to find something for about 50,000 in a brand new off-the-plan development. And I did actually see one in particular that had a beautiful sky pool overlooking the ocean and the beach for 50,000. That was 40 square meters on a decent floor. So for that reason, I'm also considering the same thing. Am I better off buying in some place like Sihanoukville? My belief is no. Okay, and the reason is Phnom Penh is the capital. So just like Bangkok, you got to compare it to the neighboring country. Bangkok property prices have gone like this. They have soared. And I believe, you know, if you can afford it and you can get into Sihanoukville, Phnom Penh over Sihanoukville, you're going to be better off. But it's going to be harder and it's going to cost more money. But I think long term, being the capital city, having the airport there, I think that's the best place to buy if you can afford it. If you're strapped and your budget is a bit tight, then hey, maybe you're better off in Sihanoukville. Like myself personally, I missed out on the Bangkok property boom. I did want to get in, but I really missed out. I felt the price per square meter was too high, so I bought in Pattaya. this time round, I would really love to buy in Phnom Penh, being the capital. I think that's my preference. And it's an awesome city. Like the riverside, the parks, just walking around there is just really, really cool. Yes, Sir Dino, our maid Ruby, she is back. She's hiding. I've been telling her to find me potatoes because she made me this beautiful potato skin dish.
I made that.
Ruby made that.
I made it.
Well, both you and Ruby made it. You can't take all the credit. I'll show Ruby this video. That's not fair. B. She's hiding. She's hiding in her room. Anyway. Oh, so funny. So look, like I was saying earlier, a lot of properties being sold overseas. There are some concerns there. It is possible that they build an excessive amount of luxury developments. But the issue is because, in 2010, they only legalized strata title and for foreigners to own. It is really a new market. So, number of things could happen. I think property prices will continue going up like this, especially in Phnom Penh, like just insane. I think it'll keep going up, even though it's already probably a bit too high, too rich for my blood. But I think what will happen with time, as there's more developments that are being built and constructed with time, if those people can't rent the properties, they're going to put them back on the market, and some people are going to take a bath, and some people will lose money. So even though the property has potentially gone up because of other developers artificially inflating the price and asking more on a price per square meter basis, actually if investors can't rent and they can't get a rental yield from their property, they will sell. And they will sell at a good price, and that is the time to buy. So that's actually what I'm looking for now, but it's not easy. It is not easy. I've been looking on various websites, and it is difficult to find. Very difficult, in fact, to find a decent price property in Phnom Penh. But I like a challenge, so we will keep you posted about this. And, I can find my crash pad in Phnom Penh.
Why?
Okay, so excessive luxury developments, well, it's not at this stage excessive. Actually, there's not enough property developments that are, of a high standard at this stage. There's still very few, but I think long term with the new developments that have been proposed, it will become excessive, but not at this stage. Okay, so we talked about the foreign ownership for business, 100% foreign ownership. So what about, digital nomads? What about digital nomads wanting to come to Cambodia, work online, work from home? Is it a good option? My answer is no. Okay, so based on the research that I've done on visas, actually, if you tell the government that you're wanting to, do that and work online or something like that, they will literally decline your visa. So if you want to apply for that visa, it will be difficult, unfortunately. So they want people to come and work in Cambodia. So you will need, most likely, to get a work visa or find some kind of fixer that can help you get the work visa. So that's actually seems to be the way, or obviously register a business, which actually isn't too expensive. It's only a few $1,000s, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, to register and start a business. But you need a location also, so you're going to have to rent a small space. So what's trending at the moment, what seems to be trending at the moment in Phnom Penh, is these kind of like mixed use condominiums. So we saw a condo that was a loft that was 2 levels, and at the top levels it had 2 bedrooms, and at the bottom was a small living room and or office. So you could buy something like that or rent something like that and use that as your business address and register that for your visa, for your 1-year visa, and then every 1 year you keep renewing and renewing and renewing and renewing. It would be great if you could get a longer visa. My understanding is they're 1 year. Unlike the Philippines, when you're getting work visas and this sort of thing, you can go 1 year and then 3 years. So that's a great thing. I'm on a 3-year visa here in the Philippines, and it is awesome. So yeah, in perspective, Philippines, in perspective to Cambodia, what do you think, honey?
Sorry, I'm lost.
Okay, so I still love the Philippines. Look, Philippines is our home. Arianne's a Filipina. She's looking at me like, But, you know, when I find a new place and go to a new place and it's exciting, you know, I've been harping on for the last like 2 weeks, Cambodia, Cambodia, Cambodia. And it's really, really cool. There's no doubt. But it is going to cost money to get into that market and get visas. So it is a bit complicated. And I think it's going to get harder over time, not easier. So that's a bit of a concern too. So I think at the moment, Philippines still wins for us. Absolutely. But if you're comparing capital cities, being Manila versus Phnom Penh, I'm going to be honest and say I would prefer to live in Phnom Penh over Manila. Like, for example, this brings me to my next subject, which is transport. Transport is amazing. Okay, like in the Philippines, like it is insane. They, you know, Uber got wiped out because of the regulations and the court case and that sort of thing, okay? Honey, go get the dog, right?
I can't carry them, you know.
Push him along or something.
Cisco!
Okay, so what was I saying? So we're trying to get the dog for you guys to see. 'Cause
Porky!
Cisco's all grown up now. Come on, Cisco. Oh, there he is, got him, there he is, there's big Cisco, look at him, he's huge. But anyway, we're talking about transport. So in the Philippines, you know, Uber's been wiped out, okay? There is also Grab in the Philippines, but the problem with Grab is depending on, you know, where you are and the time of day and that sort of thing. Grab in the Philippines seems to take ages and it costs a lot more than what it did. Like 10 years ago, I could get a taxi for like 150 peso from Makati or Ortigas to the airport. The other day, we paid 650. So I was like, wow, that's a lot more than what I'm used to. It's gone up a lot, okay? Whereas in Phnom Penh, how long, literally on average, when we order a Grab, you know, online, on the app, how long did it take to get it? Every time, on average?
1 to 2 minutes.
More like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was 30 seconds to 60 seconds max. I would book a Grab and boom, 30 seconds later, this little tuk-tuk comes along. Hey, how you going? We jump in this cute little tuk-tuk and it takes you all around town. Transport is awesome. The roads are decent so that you don't have gridlock all over the place. So you can get anywhere around the city within about 10 or 15 minutes, depending on the traffic. It was great.
If you know where you're going, you don't actually have to wait for it because there will always be Grab in front of. I mean, there will always be tuk-tuk in front of you. But we usually use Grab because because of the map we need to use.
Yeah,
it, so
actually, you can get a tuk-tuk straight away. But look, I don't want to barter. It's just easier. It's safer, I think, using Grab because it's registered too. So you're not going to have issues there. So look, I think the best way is get Grab if you're going to Cambodia, use it, and you're going to pay, wait for this, you're going to pay anywhere from like 30 peso to about 60 peso, which is about 60 to 70 cents US, to around about maximum $1.30, $1.40 to get anywhere in the city. That's right. So it's awesome. It only costs you like $1 something to get anywhere. So just say on average $1. $1 can take you anywhere in the city using Grab. So that was just, oh my God. I was so happy about that. So yeah, really good. And it's really nice actually traveling and driving around the city. It's a nice place to get around. Really nice. So transport wins. Like, anyway, I'm just saying, Manila could learn from that.
They also have Grab here in the Philippines, Sardina, but
it's not the same. It's so hard.
It's not the same. It's harder.
If it's raining, like it's almost impossible. Like the government has a quota on how many Grabs there can be. Before in the Philippines, it was great. It was awesome, but no longer. So that's sad. Cambodia wins.
Before we went to Cambodia, we booked a taxi from Ortigas to airport, and it cost us. It's around
200
3 p.m.
Yeah.
Around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and it cost us 800 pesos.
Oh, what, recently?
No, when we went to Cambodia.
Yeah, so this was very recently. What Arianne's saying is very recently. I thought it was only 650, but maybe it was as high as 800. It cost us 800 peso to get to the airport, and that wasn't even peak hour.
That was for a Wigo.
Yeah, it was this tiny little Wigo. I'm sitting like this. I may as well have been in a tuk-tuk. Actually, I found the tuk-tuks fun. So anyway, let's come to the conclusion, because we've been talking a bit tonight and I don't want to go too long. Okay, in conclusion, this is the best thing. Okay, this is like the biggest thing. Is it a good time to buy now? So this is my conclusion. The answer is only if you're really wealthy. Okay, if you have a lot of money and you can afford something really nice in Phnom Penh, then yes, it's a good time to buy. Otherwise, you might be looking a bit out of the city where you can buy something a bit cheaper, or other places like Siem Reap, I believe Camp is nice, or Sihanoukville. So, you know, depends on your budget. I'd love to buy in Phnom Penh, but I think it's just way out of my budget, and just not affordable. So for that reason, in Phnom Penh, actually, you know, for people on a budget, expats like me, actually, I think it's better to rent than buy. And I rarely say that, but honestly, I really do, because you can rent the same condo I looked at for $200,000 US. They want like $220,000 US for this condo.
As much as 300.
No, the condo I'm talking about was $220,000 US, okay? And you can rent that same condo on a 12-month lease for about $550 a month. That's a no-brainer. I mean, like, the return on investment is like 2 or 3%. Is it worth buying? Not really. Unless you're gambling that maybe it doubles or triple. And maybe it does. So, yes, maybe if you're rich and have $200,000 just to throw away, it's worth taking the gamble, okay? I'm not one of those people. I like a sure thing, and I think it's much better to rent or just take a holiday and book an Airbnb. So yeah, absolutely. We got a great Airbnb. I will be back, and I will only be buying if I can find a really nice development that's a bargain, that's a resale where someone's lost their shirt. Okay, that's the only way. And I think the likelihood of that is low. It is pretty low. Okay, so that's sad. Oh. It's sad. I was trying to run away from Arianne. I mean, did I just say that?
One.
No.
Before that, there's one question here.
Question.
How much can you have?
She doesn't get me water. Where's my
a
water?
property manager there.
Property manager?
Yeah, how much is it? How much is it cost?
Okay, so like most of Asia with property managers, they take a fee. So if you're getting like a 12-month lease, what they usually do is they say, okay, they'll give you the 12-month lease, but they will take as a fee the first month's rent. So that's usually kind of norm for leasing, you know, long-term 12-month leases. So you will lose, let's just say 10% of, you know, the rental to your property manager. That's around about what it costs.
But that's to get a client for you, but
yes,
it's not it's not
same thing in Manila.
like to what's that, to manage your property.
Yeah, that's to manage your property. That's what it's for, darling. Okay, so what happens is you have a real estate agent, they manage it. They don't, depends where, and I can't speak from experience because I don't own in Phnom Penh, but like Thailand and, you know, the Philippines, you usually pay them the first months of rent. Okay, so you pay that, and they're supposed to manage that and make sure that you get your rent and the apartment is looked after. Unfortunately, that doesn't work out, because what usually happens is the property manager skips, takes their 1 month's rent, and then sometimes your property gets trashed, or sometimes the tenant doesn't pay. So if you go to the real estate agent to try and get them to manage it, very rarely can you find a good person that will effectively manage it. Look, it really depends. If you find the right person, they will help you manage it. But usually when things go bad, you're the one to look after it. And that's why a lot of people are, you know, scared to actually buy as a foreigner living in the West, and buy and just let it run it and manage itself, the property. It doesn't really work. So, you know, buying property here and managing property, you gotta have boots on the ground. Okay, that's the best way. Okay, I'm just being honest. So unless you know someone, or you have a family member that can help you, okay, or maybe a girlfriend. Maybe you're in America or Britain and you got a girlfriend, and you can say, hey, look, can you go to my condo and check it out?
Where's my pay? I've been your property manager for quite a while.
Anyway, so look, we're going to open up for the last questions of the night. Last questions.
I think.
You got any questions?
I don't have.
How handsome am I? It's terrible. Oh my god, just terrible.
Brad Williams said, head to what next time? A little town on the move as expats are living in Sihanoukville.
Yes.
Save the message
I heard this too, that actually a friend of mine said he was living in Sihanoukville, okay, but what he did is he moved to Kampot, okay, so he said it's actually a nice little town on the river and it is a great little place, okay, so yes, Kampot might be the solution, but I like the beach. And hey, I don't mind the casino either, okay. So, well, what was the other question there? I think there was one other.
This one from Bradisville.
Howdy.
I've been telling people to go to Cambodia for years. They think Siem Reap is Cambodia, but there is so much more to offer than just Angkor Wat.
That's right. Actually, that is so true, because I'm kicking myself that I didn't go to Cambodia before, okay? I wish I went there before, because I think it's absolutely awesome and it was a great opportunity to buy 2 or 3 years ago before the market started going like this. It's still a good opportunity if you can find the right property at the right price. Okay, we got another question there, I thought.
From JD. Do you think it will be easy enough to successfully rent out a brand new condos bought for around 50K in Cambodia?
Depends where. In the capital city, I don't think you're going to have much of a problem. But it also depends on the property. If it's a nicer, higher end property, there are people looking, like foreigners and expats, that are willing to pay more for a nice building, you know, with a view, a big balcony, sky pool and that sort of thing. So absolutely you can. The other advantage is you have options with those type of condos, because not only can you go and rent it permanently, but you can also look at doing Airbnb. You need to have boots on the ground or someone you know to do that though, obviously. But obviously, you know, if you're going to do Airbnb, you're going to make like 2 to 3 times the amount you would if you were getting a permanent rental. So, you know, if there's a permanent rental and you're renting it out and getting $500, you know, dollars per month, you might get as much as $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 in peak seasons for Airbnb. If you have the right condo and you've got nice pictures and you advertise it well on Airbnb. And I speak from experience from this with Airbnb, and I love Airbnb. And actually what I'm going to do, I have a little link. If you're not on Airbnb already, literally $40, $50, forget hotels.com and booking.com. Airbnb, you can book like $40, $50 a night, a luxury 5-star condominium, really nice. I have a free voucher for you. Literally, I will put the link in the video below, right after this live stream. I'll put the link, and actually if you're not already a member of Airbnb, you can use that link, sign up with my code. It'll automatically do that when it takes you to the link. You sign up and it'll give you, I think it's like a $40 free voucher to your next Airbnb stay. So that's really awesome. So you can use that, and you know, if it was going to cost you, you know, $200-300 for the week, it now only costs you $160. So there you go. There's a deal for you.
Oh, there's one question. Peter, have you not been drinking anymore?
I stopped drinking for
was
7 months, for 7 drinks, sober. I had no alcohol for 7 months. I think it was about a week ago when Arianne told me she's pregnant, I had a beer. Yeah, she's pregnant. So we're breaking the news now. I'm just going to do this now. Oh, wow, she's going red. Can't really see it on the camera, but she's actually going red. Arianne told me in the middle of work that she's pregnant. And like, I was having a really bad day, really busy day, puts the little stick in front of me. I'm like, what is this? What is this? I don't know. The tester, the pregnancy test. So yes, Arianne is pregnant. We'll probably do another video or post to announce. I wasn't going to announce it, but I just did. There we go. Okay. Yes, Airbnb has great potential. sorry, Cambodia has great potential for Airbnb. Sorry, I was like mind blown. Still kind of like, whoa, yeah, Arianne's pregnant. Sorry. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up. That's a wrap. Thanks heaps, guys. This has been Peter
And Arianne.
and the little baby.
12 weeks.
Yeah. See ya. No, it's good news. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And please hit the subscribe and share button. We need that share more than ever because I've got to feed another mouth. Please. It's terrible. Oh, I just fell over. Thanks, guys. And hey, look, there's a free voucher for you. I'm going to put it in the video, under the video. Just use that. Use an email account that's not already registered with Airbnb. You'll get a free $40 voucher for Airbnb. So enjoy your holiday. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the greetings.